Hello, 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 ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls. Hope everybody's doing well.
Hey, well, Anthony's notorious. Anthony's notorious say just a thought, not a sermon, right? You know what I mean?
Right?
Because I mean, they were giving Alabama like Alabama was this. If Alabama didn't lose their 2-star receivers, it'd be a different ballgame.
What happened? Did they just not show up that day, or was it
you got
systematically beat?
So is it because he didn't get the opportunities we thought he would get because of Kirby Smart's offense? More like, I know this is more of a passing.
Okay, which, hey, who knows? It might have been, might have not been. Who knows? But then again, that's why they call it football. I mean,
you asking me like wait. You asking me like I was on the sidelines holding Kirby belt loose? I don't know.
I'm just saying, Jesus said, even the very rocks will cry out with his word when he returns. True. So
he did endure because the race today was definitely not given to the swift, nor the down for the strong. Each other, and as we say every week, go dogs.
Go dogs.
Oh man, that's definitely going on the blooper reel.
This kid needs to go to bed, man.
Hey gang, how are you doing? How are you doing? You doing? It is Thursday, March the 10th, 2022, and this is This Week in SEC Football Season 2, Episode 3. We back. We've been gone for a couple of weeks. We took a little time off, get ourselves together, do some things, and enjoy. I use that term loosely because I'm missing college football, something fierce, but enjoy just kind of not having anything to talk about for a while. I am Mr. Fingaz, coming to you from Zagnif Central. That fella right over there, that handsome cat from way back, the brother from another, with the ace of base in your face, in the place. My man, Collin P. I gotta say it slow because I mess it up.
Hey, what's that? What it is, showbiz?
My man, my boy. What's going on, my boy? That's a new thing. It's not my boy, my boy. What's going on?
Wow.
Like we all
not much, man. Like you said, man, I'm happy to get back on with you. It's been a little bit of a vacation, but you know how they say you need a vacation from your vacation. So yeah, I'm happy to be back with you, man. I'm happy to be back on the set here.
Yeah, man, it's good to see you, Doc. You busy? I'm over here sweating and working and stuff, and I'm seeing you in Vegas, seeing pictures of you in Vegas.
Oh yeah. You know how it is. I'm not gonna bore the listeners with this, but 7 days is way too long. Way too long in Vegas.
But, 7 whole days.
I tried to set it up. The folks was out there, so I tried to hang out with the friends and then tried to break it up and then hang out with the folks out there, which was fun. Don't get me wrong, but it's very, very tiresome. Hustle and bustle out there in Vegas, just a little bit too fast for old Collin P.
I hear you, bro. I hear you, man. I hear you. Dude, I got a chance to go last week before last and go see my folks in Memphis. And unfortunately, we didn't get any good Memphis barbecue this time. I mean, we got some barbecue, but it wasn't a good Memphis kind. It was just so. I won't call the place out, but I was a little disappointed because their food is normally a lot better than what it was. But it was a stomach full, so I take it. And it was good to see mom and pops anyway. I hadn't seen mom and pops since COVID broke out. So
yeah, that's crazy, dude.
So,
I can't
imagine.
Luckily, my folks come up and see. Obviously, they come to see. I'm fully aware they come see their grandson. I'm fully aware I've taken a back seat, but I'm fortunate enough they come up about every month. They drive up from Georgia and take that 11-hour drive, and they hang out for about 3 or 4 days, and then they go back home. But they do it pretty religiously every month, which I'm grateful for that. But yeah, I'm fully aware they come to their grandbaby.
I hear you, man. I remember those days when I first moved out the house. They was all, "Hey, you gonna come over and see us?" And we ain't seen him. And I said, "Oh," when I got married the first time, and I was married to the first wife, and then when we had when Sean came along, it was like, "Oh, we gonna come see you. Oh, y'all gonna come see us now? Okay, now come on, we gonna take y'all out for dinner." I see. Said the blind man.
Oh yeah, see, there you go. That's the southern. Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. So last week. Oh, before we get into it, I normally say this at the beginning of every show, but Collin and I just catching up. If you are under the sound of our voices right now, looking at these handsome mugs, or if you're listening to the podcast replay on one of the many platforms that you can find it on, take a minute to stop and hit the like button or subscribe to the channel. And, if you like what we're talking about, drop us a comment. If you want to disagree with us, drop us a comment. We'll take that too. Just don't go too far. You know what I'm saying? Don't go too far, because we both from the South. We like T.I. say, we not country, because the country is considered an insult, but we might get country on you. Expeditionally.
That was, man. Well, I was gonna tell everybody, that's the greatest episode I've seen in a while. It was fun. It was crazy, Anthony, that it came up that day, because I was just scrolling through Facebook and I saw T.I. talking to Fabulous and explaining the difference between country, and some people could take it as some sort of slight, people around Atlanta, I kind of get it, but not where I'm from, it's definitely country. You ain't gonna hurt you ain't gonna no skin off my nose. I'm definitely country.
Yeah, T.I., for those of you that are lost, T.I. has a podcast called Expeditiously, and it's quite genius, actually, the way that the logo is set up, and the T.I. in the middle are lit up, and the rest of the lights are dark. The rest of the letters are dark, and he had the potential hip hop Hall of Famer Fabulous in studio, and they were talking about the difference between being from the South and being Southern and being country. And it was quite an amusing conversation, because y'all know how T.I., if you know T.I., y'all know how T.I. is. Believe everything you heard about T.I., because he is just like that all day, every day, and very, very, very opinionated, very, very opinionated. Opinionated.
Yeah.
With
opinionated and animated. Very passionate.
Opinionated and animated. Very passionate. About what he talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We ain't country. That's an insult. We Southern, but we ain't country. And then
I'm telling you,
and then to hear Fabulous talking about being up top, being from the North, and I was like, oh my God, I hadn't heard that in a minute. But anyway, we digress. We're going to move this thing forward. As always, each and every week, we are sponsored by DJG Enterprises and Greek Gans. They can make all the custom sports gear you want. Go holla at them right now. Afghans, insulated tumblers. You see the examples right here on your screen. Get at them today. www.greekgans.com. Thank you so much for being a sponsor of This Week in SEC Football.
Absolutely.
So, rumor has it a bunch of guys got together this weekend just to, show what they could do on the football field. And there were a lot of guys there from a school that we both like. It was a 2022 NFL Combine. And there was a lot of talk about a lot of things, and we'll get into that. We'll try and break that down for you. But SEC, my God, 82 participants. There were 82 participants from the NFL. There were 82 participants from the SEC. And then on top of that, there were 14 players from UGA. 14.
Yep.
And for those of you that may be new to the game, although if you're watching this show, you have some knowledge of how the whole combine works. Anytime you get players invited from your school in double digits, and I think the combine is by invite, right?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe it's invite only. And just to go back on what you said, 14 of Georgia, but of a total of 324 players that were invited.
And yeah, so we have 14 players out there, and the guys did really well. And I'm being, I don't want to use the word loquacious for lack of a better word. I'm not trying to downplay it, but the guys really showed out. We had we had Jordan, the Big Baby Davis, of course, Devonta Wyatt, George Pickens, Louis Seen, James Cook, Zamir White, Trayvon Walker, Quay Walker, Jake Camarda, the punter. Our punter went down there and showed out, bro. Look, our punter got an invite. A punter got an invite to the NFL Combine, and again, special teams is something that every team looks at, but they don't really look at them from the Combine. Like, you really don't get an invite to the Combine unless you're doing something. And as a punter and as a place kicker, that's impressive. So let's just take a quick break, breakdown of how some of our guys did. So we're going to start with George Pickens. George Pickens last year during spring practice tore his ACL and was pretty much deemed to be out for the entire season. He wound up being cleared to play close to the end of the season, and he maybe get 2 or 3 plays per game. I think he got a couple of plays in the SEC championship. He had that one really big catch where he made the twisting catch, laid out vertical, caught the ball, brought it in, and then twisted over and landed on his back to protect the catch. Very impressive. Then he got another big jump ball catch late in the fourth quarter. Then he had, I think, 2 or 3 plays in the national championship game, but he really didn't see a lot of action. But the kid had his ACL was torn, and he really wasn't projected to see any type of action at all, let alone potentially be going into the NFL draft, especially having an extra year, a COVID year. But he decided to declare for the draft. 6'3", 195 pounds. This kid ran out 1 year post ACL tear and runs a 4.47 40-yard dash, 33-inch vertical jump, and 10-foot 5-inch broad jump. That, my friends, ladies and gentlemen, is really, really impressive. What you got on that, Collin?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm just saying, like, he was talking at the press conference, and a lot of people were giving him a lot of laughing at him and whatever when he said that. They asked him. I believe that was one of the questions they asked, like, what did he think he would be running in the 40? And he straight out told him, he said, 4.4, 4.5. And people kind of smirked at that. They kind of didn't think he was doing it. I mean, probably because of the injury to his knee and the time he's missed and what have you. And evidently they didn't know his his regimen on how he was coming back. So he put everybody, he shut everybody up. But he did say that he was going to run either 4.4, 4.5. He's obviously right in between there. So that's very impressive to come back not only that quick, but to perform at the level that he did at the Combine. I mean, that's just that. I mean, I'm sure other players have done it, but it's just impressive.
And in retrospect, Kirby probably was he turned out to be the smartest guy in the room, because there were a lot of people going, well, why is Pickens out there playing? We don't know if he's fully recovered or not. He could take a chance and injure himself again. And just those few plays that he was out there, I think they were plays that were designed to show what he could do. Give him just enough of an eyeball test. Kirby probably knew he was declaring for the draft before the championship game. So coach said, we're gonna give you your spotlight, son. We're gonna let him see what you can do. Go out there, show him what you can do. And he did just that. He is projected, I think. Let me see. I got a report here from the UGA Wire via USA Today that said that as many as 9 players from the Dogs could go pretty high in
the
the draft.
First round.
Not necessarily first round, but not necessarily first round, but first round, second round at least. Right now he's projected to go mid second round. They're saying he could fall to the Patriots.
Not bad.
He may go even earlier than that. But I mean, still, that's impressive. 1 year post ACL tear to be projected in the top 50 in the NFL
and like
draft.
you were saying, I think you're right when you said like Kirby, was smart, no pun intended, that what he did, because those plays were obviously designed for Pickens, and they were pretty long plays. They were to gain a lot of yardage. I mean, it wasn't somewhere I think around butt hooks, but I mean it was just not. They were pretty long plays, go routes and what have you.
Yeah, but, definitely. And the catch he made in the national championship game, apparently I did not know this, was his longest catch of his career at University of Georgia, 52-yard catch. Yeah. So, then next up we had Zeus, running back Zamir White, 6 foot 214. He ran a 4.4. Had a vertical jump of 33 and a half. Broad jump of 10 feet, 11 inches. Now, Zeus is a guy that they were expecting big things out of coming in, and he never could really seem to find a rhythm. You know what I mean? He didn't. Yeah. He wasn't a breakout running back, and of course he came in on the heels of Swift, Michelle, and Chubb. So Georgia being known for being a running team, they were expecting him to do great things, and he looked great. He's a physical specimen if you've ever seen him. Kid is yoked up. I mean, 6 foot 214 doesn't seem like a lot, but just for frame of reference, I'm 6'1", and when I got out of the Army, I was cut, but I didn't have a lot of meat on my bones. I was 178 pounds, so that's an extra 40 pounds of just pure muscle.
Right.
And the kid can get it in, and but anyway, this past season, he definitely came into his own. I think he was averaging somewhere between 5-6 yards a carry. I mean, when it come time to start, playing grind the clock out, but he was virtually unstoppable. He was going to get you a first down. Sometimes on 3rd and long, he was going to break out and get you a first down. Between him and Cook, you couldn't stop that offense.
Yeah, it reminded me a lot of Chubb and Michelle. I mean, look like them again, like their tandem. You had a bowling ball and then you had a finesse runner. A guy that could, that could cut. And not only, I didn't mean to cut you off. Are you good? Fingers, I'm just talking. You okay?
I'm good, man. Jump in, get in when you fit in, bro.
But no, but I was just saying, and not only was it a good story about Zeus. I don't know if everybody saw the story on him and on ESPN, but you can see the fire in his eyes, and like you said, if he was in the ball game, he was going to get you, a couple yards, more times than not. But he was the I guess quote unquote battering ram, like Chubb used to be. Up the middle, what have you, and then you have the defense on their heels, and then throw in Cook and have him outside. And, he would juke and take off sometimes.
Oh yeah, and I mean he had a couple of he had some night, and he showed that he had breakaway speed too. I mean once you got through that first line, especially with those guys with them stacking the box like they were stacking them because they knew Georgia was going to run. You break through that first line, those the secondary had to catch him.
Yeah, they ever got outside, it was over.
Yeah. And so, let's see. I don't know if he's projected to go really high. I don't know how high he's projected to go in the draft, in this mock draft. I'm looking to see if his name is on here. This Big Baby, this George Pickens. Okay, stop messing with me. I don't think his name is on here. I don't have a projection for him just yet. But I think he'll wind up being a good second round pick.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So he'll wind up being a good second-round pick. He'll wind up in a program where he will be able to share some running back duties and not take a whole lot of wear and tear. I can't think offhand. I think he would be a great addition to a team like, say a Tampa Bay, because Leonard Fournette has been in the league for a while. He's taking a little bit of wear and tear. He's not the Leonard Fournette that was running up and down the field at LSU anymore. So he'd be great at a team like a Tampa Bay running behind Leonard Fournette. He would be phenomenal. It would be phenomenal if he could get picked up by Tennessee. I mean, running behind Derrick Henry. Oh my God, you know what I mean? So there's him. James Cook ran a 4.42. We were talking about the tandem. Here's the other half of the tandem. 4.42 with a 33-inch vertical jump, 10 feet 4-inch broad jump. He totally killed the what is this drill? What is the combine drill where they run over the pads and run through the pads and all of that? What drill is that?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, he completely killed that. He got a little frustrated with the 40. He had one where he ran a 4.5 and he wanted to try and run it faster. His second attempt, they kind of gave him a false start and let him go again, and that was when he tore off that 4.4. So very impressive from James Cook. Let's see, Jordan Davis, big baby, 6'6", 341 pounds. You know what? I'm gonna skip him. I'm gonna come back to him because I want to talk about him because the boy showed out. Jordan Davis showed out.
Yeah, I got something to say about that too. Because I mean, we're not going to go too far until later. But I mean, that Jets scout. Did you read what he said about him? We'll come back. Go ahead. Just go ahead.
We'll come back to him. Hold that.
Yeah.
So we're gonna jump him and the guy behind him, and we're gonna go over to Trayvon Walker, defensive end, 6'5", 272, with a 4.5 40-yard dash. Hold on a minute. I'm gonna let that marinate for a second. The man is almost 6.5 feet tall and 272 pounds. Now that's 4 inches on me, so he's not like uber heavy because I'm sitting at 260 right now at 6'1", and it definitely shows. But my man is 272 and he ran a 4.5. That's lightning fast, and he's a defensive end. That's the kind of guy that can get around the corner on you in a hurry.
That's closing speed, big
that
time.
you don't want that guy coming around the corner on you in a hurry, especially if you're headed towards him. You getting ready to have a real bad day.
Absolutely.
35.5 vertical jump, 10 feet 3-inch broad jump, cone drill at 6.89 seconds, and a 20-yard shuffle in 4.32. That's just nasty. That doesn't make any kind of sense. That's the kind of guy you really just don't want to see coming. He's probably going to be one of our maybe a low first-round draft pick because there's a lot of teams looking for edge rushers right now.
That's true.
Again, Tampa Bay, you got JPP. We don't know if he's coming back or not, but they're going to probably need an edge rusher. You got I just saw today that Chicago is trading off Khalil Mack to San Diego once he clears his physical and all the numbers work out. So, I mean, the Bears might be looking for an edge rusher. I see him going first round. I think he's going to be a first rounder.
Yeah, with numbers like that, he should be. I mean, like honestly, all the numbers you just said there, that is a specimen. I mean, he should go high. I mean, I don't know.
I don't see him being a high first round draft pick, but defensive ends, edge rushers are now becoming. I mean, you got your JJ Watts, you got your Aaron Donalds, you've had your JPPs, you've had your Von Millers, you've had your you got your TJ Watts. You got all these guys that are just there. It's a new breed of defensive player. Defensive players used to just be big and mean and strong, and they can get in the backfield. Now you got guys that are big and mean and strong and fast.
And don't you think that the SEC, I guess I don't know how many Doesn't that actually bode well for the SEC conference? Because I mean, we are the fastest conference. I mean, you look at you compare defenses on each conference. You know, I do believe that we have the fastest guys like that. You know, fastest defensive player, fastest defensive end, fastest linebackers, that kind of stuff. And when they get to the NFL, there's probably, I mean, I don't know, I'm just speaking purely as opinion, but you know, isn't that it's kind of it kind of lessens the gap. You know, what I mean, with the difference between how fast NFL defensive players are than the.
I will say that as a conference, SEC players, specifically defensive players, tend to be more pro ready. They tend to be more pro ready when they get to the pros. I mean, look at what's his nuts? The honey. Where was the honey badger? He was at LSU, right? Yeah, yeah. The honey badger from LSU. These guys are. I mean, he has become a staple. Where is he now? Kansas City? Yeah, he's become a staple. He's become a staple of that defense in Kansas City. He's the first one that comes to mind. But, I mean, these guys just seem to be more pro-ready. Now, granted, there are players from every single conference in the league.
Yeah.
But just as a whole, SEC guys they appear to be, on the surface, they appear to be a lot more game ready for the NFL when they get to the league. And I mean, dude, you know, that whole region, our boys don't do nothing, but a lot of them grew up in the country. A lot of them grew up in the country, had to walk a mile and a half to catch the bus. Some of them had to walk to school, running to school like Clark Kent and Superman.
Not necessarily uphill both ways in the snow, but I mean it was flat, but it was a long way.
Racing the train like Herschel Walker. I mean, you know, you hear these kinds of stories about these guys that are in the league that came from the SEC. It's just like, yeah, man, I remember, you know, I used to have to run from these bullies, and it was like 2 miles across the field, and then the sideline reporter asked him something dumb like, "Did you get away?" He's like, "If I didn't, I wouldn't be here." So what's that tell you? You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
So yeah, bigger, like the song say, bigger, faster, harder, stronger.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
So that's our guy Devonta Wyatt. He was the fastest defensive player with the 40. Then we got O-lineman Jamari Sawyer. I'm sorry, Jamari Sawyer. That's our boy that said game over. It said game over, we won. When Bama was talking about, we would have won if our players hadn't been hurt. He's like, game over, we won. It's done, son. 6'3", 321. That's a dude I would not want to run into in a dark alley. Bench press 300. My God, I'm looking at his weight again. 300 reps, and ladies and gentlemen, with the first pick of the 2022 NFL draft, bench pressing 300 reps. The Detroit Lions take offensive lineman Jamari Sawyer.
Offensive.
31 reps in the bench press. He's got a 66, almost 67-inch wingspan. Wingspan is across the chest, but just his arms alone together is 67 inches. 5 feet. You ain't getting by. You ain't getting by him. No. If you try to
how big his hands are, man.
Yeah, his 10 inches. I'm gonna stop there, but he got 10-inch hands.
Stop it.
That's a catcher's mitt.
Oh, absolutely.
How do they measure the hands from the tip of the pinky to the tip of the thumb?
It should be that way, right? Yeah, I would say so.
10 inches, bro. Like if he's that dude, if he mush you in the club, you can't come back from that mush. You can't even get up and talk smack. You just gotta, you know how dehumanizing that is to have a grown man put his hand over your face and it be like one of those creatures from Alien. It just take over your whole face and part of your side of your head.
You'd have one thumb in one ear and the pinky in another.
Right. He just carry you out like a bowling ball.
Like a bowling ball.
Look, if a dude with hands that big mush you in the club, don't say nothing. You ain't got no clap back. You ain't got no last word. Just get up and be like, I'm sorry, sir. You're right. Have a good evening. Pay your
And
tab.
then,
Go
and
to hell
then leave.
home.
And
Go
then
to
leave.
hell home.
Yeah, you need to go home right then. Ain't no saving face at all. No saving face.
None whatsoever. I mean, that kid is a monster of a man. Offensive lineman, always in big demand because offensive linemen, as a general rule, they get more wear and tear than any of the specialty players. I know you might think different because we do see specialty players that get hurt, but those guys are in the trenches. I mean, the only guys you see in the game that wear braces every game, not just because they're hurt. I mean, that's a lot of weight to have to carry around to play for 25, 30 snaps a game. Linebacker Channing Tindall, 6'2", 230 with a 4.47 40-yard dash, a 10-foot 9-inch broad jump, and a 42-inch vertical.
42, good Lord.
42-inch vertical. That cat almost jumped 4 feet.
That's crazy.
6'2", like that's a guy that can definitely dunk. At 6'2", you can jump 4 feet. You well up above the rim. You dig what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, he's probably staring at it. He's probably eye level with it.
Above the rim, above the rim. Matter of fact, wait a minute. Let me see this here. Oh my God, that was ridiculous. I had to watch it, but I had to mute. I wanted to watch it, but I had to mute the sound so we didn't get a copyright ding. But it's ridiculous. That's a specimen. Linebackers. I don't know who needs linebackers, but I know I can see him being a second round pick.
Yeah.
Linebacker Quay Walker, 6'4", 241, 4.5 40-yard dash, 32-inch vertical, broad jump, 10 foot 2 inches. What do you think about him? He was the third fastest amongst. He was third fastest amongst the linebackers.
No, I was just looking at that. I was looking at everybody collectively, and we had nobody ran less than a 5. So I mean, he's another one, another linebacker that's obviously a quick guy, can get around the corners real fast, or he can actually close the speed is the biggest thing. The outside receivers getting their pass, whatever, he'll be able to close pretty fast. I don't know when he would go. What do you think?
I think, closing speed means everything, especially with football being a game of inches and feet, and literally being a game of literally being a game of inches. Sometimes that inch or two is the difference between having to punt and turn the ball over, or in a crucial fourth quarter situation. Sometimes we see it both at college and the pro levels. It's the difference between having to kick a field goal or having another set of downs, being in 4-down territory and being able to take a shot at the end zone. So anybody that can break into the backfield and close on a running back, close on a scrambling quarterback, or having enough speed to be able to run sideline to sideline. Like maybe you got, the left center of the field, and safety, receiver breaks off and gets away from his cover man. You can come in and assist. You know what I mean? So I think he'll do. I think he'll do fairly well. I think he will be another second round draft pick. Like right now, everybody that I've gone through, I don't see going any later than second round in the draft. Yeah,
I agree. I mean, I just and just to add on to the closing speed. I mean, do you remember when this is obviously a different story? This is offensive. Ben Watson chasing down Champ Bailey. Remember that whenever Champ he intercepted the ball, and I think it was New England. I think Ben Watson was with New England still, and Champ was with the Redskins, and I think Champ intercepted on like a 1-yard line, ran all the way back, and Ben Watson was up top. And you look it up. I mean, Ben just turned on the afterburners. Like he passed everybody and then closes. I mean, just caught him at the 1-yard line. Champ thought he had it made, and then he knocked him out of the 1-yard line before he scored. So
the one that always comes to mind for me is Darryl Green walking down Tony Dorsett.
Yeah, that was
rookie season. At a diagonal. At a diagonal, not straight line. A diagonal.
Yeah. Same with
my man could burn.
And that was two Georgia boys, right? You know, Ben went to Georgia too, so they had to have a laugh after that. So it was it was funny. And they talked about it later on, like way down.
Yeah, they probably patted each other on the back and went "Go Dogs," and then went to their respective huddles. You know what I mean?
Exactly. But
yeah. So next up, we got safety Lewis Seen, 6'2", 199. Ran a 4.37. Good God.
Yes, sir. I like him, man.
Anybody that runs a sub 4.4, I think could easily run at least just over a 10-second 100-meter dash, just over.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, the world record's like 9.6, so that's like 0.4 of a second's worth of difference. But 10 is still pretty damn fast when you consider that like Carl Lewis was running like 9 in the 80s, was running like 9.9. 9.95. I think he got maybe in a 9.8. So anybody can run 10 seconds is pretty doggone fast.
That's fast.
He's got a vertical of 36.5, and the broad jump is 11 feet 1 inch. That was the best broad jump amongst the safeties. I think it was a big statement performance on his part. This kid has a lot of determination. I mean, he's determined like nobody's business. That they did the story on him and Zeus, and I think that was in high school. And they said, "What do you want to do?" They said, "We're going to go to the University of Georgia. We're going to win a national championship." Mm-hmm. And what did they do? They went to the University of Georgia and they won a national championship.
Absolutely.
So this kid has a lot of no quit, and this kid has like no quit in him. He's got a lot of energy, highly motivated, self-motivated. So I can see him having a good long career in the league. I think he's going to be one of our first-round picks.
I agree with you. Yep.
I don't know where he's going to go, but I think he's going to be a first-round pick. I just don't know where. Just depends on who needs him,
because I know he was a leader in the locker room. Like, he was one of the premier leaders we had, and I know Kirby said that countless times, that he was one of the ones that getting everybody up, and even several times that we've been down, in the locker room, he's mentioned Stein, several times.
Yeah. Now here's the thing that's got me. It makes me a little sad. I'm watching all of these guys perform and play their hearts out. They play their hearts out. They perform their hearts out. And is it bad that it makes me a little sad that I don't think not a one of them will play in Mercedes-Benz Stadium?
I mean, is that a bad thing right now, though? I mean, I wouldn't want to kind of put that on him right now.
Well, I wouldn't want to put it on him either. But we
maybe
know,
eventually, when we get a little better,
we know since the conclusion of the 2019 NFL season. Let's see, 2018, 2019. Yeah. Since the conclusion of the 27 and 2018. Since the conclusion of the 2018 postseason, Atlanta has not been good. Atlanta needs help, and Atlanta needs to stop just willy-nilly picking people. I mean, they got Cordarrelle Patterson. Patterson. They still don't have him on a contract. The best of my knowledge, they still got Matt Ryan. We're diverging off the path for a bit, but stay with us, y'all. I mean, you see what Atlanta has done the last few years. All this talent you got right at home. Athens is an hour away from Atlanta, if that, right?
Mm-hmm.
It ain't that far.
No, I don't have to. Maybe I don't have to.
You can draft these guys, and they can just come right on down the road and help improve the team. But
I mean, yeah, absolutely. When you got Ridley, he's out and betting $1,500 on betting. You know what I'm saying? Something definitely the culture or whatever around that team is definitely not right. I mean, you don't have to be a brain surgeon to see that, but I mean, it's just something's not right.
Something's not right. I think I said it before. 51 broke them down, and as seasons passed and they continued to not win. I mean, think about this. Matt Ryan's the only player left on the team that I can think of that was on that Super Bowl squad.
Yeah, I'm just like the Braves. I mean, the Braves only kept Freeman. I mean, and maybe a handful, maybe one or two other people. So I mean, they're honestly in a rebuilding phase like I ain't never seen. You know what I'm saying? They need help. You're right. You're absolutely right. They need help. They need to get it from somewhere. Yeah, I mean, how great would it be if Georgia Georgia had some people that they could kind of filter in there and play, in the state, keep playing in the state they came from. That'd be great.
Right.
Great.
Right.
And there's no shortage of talent, for sure.
Yeah. So absolutely. We're going to keep this thing moving along. For those of you that are just joining us, ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, welcome to Season 2, Episode 4 of This Week in SEC Football. I'm Mr. Fingaz. That's the brother from another Collin P. We are sponsored also by 1906 Tees. It won't pop up on the screen. There we go. 1906 Tees, also specializing in custom gear. They do make Greek gear, yes, for Greek letter organizations, but they can make you some nice custom gear for your teams as well. Get at them today. You see them there on the screen, 1906tees.com. Thank you for being a sponsor of This Week in SEC Football. If you're watching right now, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, jump in the comment section, say hello. I know it's a light week. I think we're one of only 3 shows out of the whole family that are doing anything this week.
Okay.
As you know, Nate is on twice a week still talking. Oh, that's our guy Nathan Snell talking WNBA baseball. He's going to have a lot to talk about with that because the lockout ended today. He talks NFL. He talks college basketball. He's in heaven right now because not only is March Madness getting ready to start, baseball's coming back. So I guess they decided to reverse track when they saw how much money they were going to lose by lopping off the first 2 weeks of baseball. Like, are you crazy? We haven't been able to have completely full crowds in the stands for 2-3 years. Now you talk about losing all this money, man. You better open the gates. Open the gate. I said open the gate. Make me say it again. There's nobody over here, y'all. That was for comedic effect. I'm just doing the thing. Anyway. And then, of course, Sean and the gang, our boy Sean Spencer over at Let's Talk Football. They're doing a couple of shows, Sundays with the Swintons, I think they're calling it. And then they had me on to talk about the Commander Carson going to the Commanders, which was a lot of fun. But we will get into that. We could talk about that later, man. Right now, we're talking 2022 NFL Combine, talking about how our Georgia players performed. Next up, cornerback Darian Kendrick, 6 foot 194. He didn't partake in any drills. I think he, along with Nakobe Dean, are saving theirs for Pro Day. But he is projected to go pretty high in the draft. As a matter of fact, I'm going to take a little look-see here and see where he's supposed to be going. I think they're projecting that he will go Devonta Wyatt. Oh, I spoke too soon. They're projecting Jamari Slayer to go to the Atlanta Falcons.
Oh, good.
They're projecting Devonta Wyatt to go to the Cleveland Browns, actually. The Browns could use some help. I'm not going to lie. Would hate to see him in a Browns uniform, but he'd be reunited with Nick Chubb. They're saying that Lewis Sign could go to the Cowboys. We had Pickens. Let's see. Darian Kendrick projected to go to the Seahawks in the second round. He ended the season with 41 tackles, 4 interceptions, 7 passes defended. So good, solid defender. We'll see how things go. He may go higher, depends on how he performs on his pro day. This one was a surprise for me right here. Next up, Jake Camarda, our punter.
I think that's everybody's surprised by that.
6 again, a punter got invited because this is a by invitation event. 6'1", 191. He's a punter. If you don't understand how meaningless to the NFL punters are, other than the fact that they need them to kick the ball on 4th down, there's only one punter in the Hall of Fame that was a pure punter. There wasn't a guy that played like George Blanda, who played quarterback and running back and kick returner and punter. A pure punter. That's Ray Guy, and he was just inducted in the last 4 or 5 years. In all the years of pro football and as long as a Pro Football Hall of Fame has been around. This kid got an invite to the Combine. That means they think they see something special in this kid. It doesn't say anything about how he performed as far as punting drills or anything like that. But just overall, He did very well. More specifically, punters don't have to do a lot of running. You know, Camarda ran a 4.56.
I mean, it's good. I mean, it's just in my mind.
What the hell is in the water at Athens?
I'm saying, like, you always see the joke, like everybody you see, like even the water boy, you know, while everybody else is practicing, go run laps, kicking team, go run laps. You know, so maybe that's what he was doing. I mean, they was just, you know, he was punting, doing his practice punting, and then the rest of his time he was just running. So, I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, that's just insane to have that kind of speed as a punter. I haven't done the research, but I wonder if any other punters have actually logged that kind of speed.
I don't know, but I mean, he was the best. He had the best time for punters.
Sure.
So, I mean, I want to know what's in the home. I want to know what's in the water in Athens, man. I mean, the only kid in Georgia, period. I know they're not all from Georgia, but you know, they got that kid, the track team. We talked about that kid, Matthew Bowling, that they brought in from Texas, who is just stupid fast.
Right.
Like he's probably, you know, he's part of our currently first place in the conference 4x100 team, which I can't wait to see once they start actually showing track and field on TV. But this kid's 4.56. That's freaking fast. Yeah. Jake Camarda, punters don't normally get drafted very high, but he got an invite to the combine, so I could see him maybe being a high second-round pick.
Yeah, I don't know who would be needing a punter. I mean, I don't really follow too closely on that, but I mean, whoever's got the punting job right now, they better watch out because I mean, that job might be in jeopardy. Whatever.
Well, also you have to consider there's guys in the league that have been in the league for a while, and somebody's going to retire or get traded.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, I understand that. Yeah, absolutely.
So here we have another O-lineman, Justin Schaefer, 6'4", 314, ran a 5. He's the first one to go over 5 seconds. 5.14 in the 40, 25.5 vertical jump, 8 feet 11 inches broad jump. He still got a 66.5-inch wingspan and 10-inch hands. I don't know with those kind of stats if he's going to get picked up. He'll probably wind up being maybe a third rounder.
Yeah.
He'll wind up maybe being a third rounder, maybe make the practice squad. And then of course, Nakobe Dean, who did not participate in drills. And that's it for our boys that were in the combine. Yeah. So out of all those guys, I don't see a single one of them getting out of the second round. Maybe, like I said, third round for our guy Justin Schaefer. And even then, offensive linemen are not supposed to be fast, and they don't really have to jump high. They just have to be big and strong and be able to keep people off the quarterback and break open holes for the running back.
Exactly.
That's about it. And block downfield for about maybe 5 or 6 yards. You know, if a running back breaks a run, that's about it. So
yeah,
I can see. Actually, now that I think about that, he'd probably go second round also. So they got Georgia's Trayvon Walker potentially going to the Packers in the first round.
Yeah.
Nakobe Dean, they project him as a high first rounder going no lower than 7 with the 7th pick to New York for Nakobe.
Giants?
Yeah, going to the Giants.
Yeah.
Which would not hurt. It wouldn't necessarily hurt him per se. It probably hurt his chances of ever getting in the playoff. But I mean, if he goes to New York and shows the hell out, one or two things they'll either trade him.
Yeah.
They'll either trade him or build some people around, give him a nice contract.
Yeah.
Although I'd like to see him get an opportunity to play for a championship, but we know that only 32 teams and only one team can win the trophy every year. So
and we're not one of them that has.
No, unfortunately. Just some other notables that were at the combine before we get into the couple we wanted to really talk about. There was Matt Corral from Mississippi State, from Ole Miss. Sam Howell from North Carolina. Derek King, really? I guess Derek King. Remember, he was one of those guys that they were looking at was going to come in and do big things, and he got stuck in Miami, and then he hurt his arm, and his season was over.
Yeah.
Kenny Pickett from Pittsburgh, Brock Purdy from Iowa State, Desmond Ridder, Carson Strong from Nevada. That's actually, now that I'm looking at it, it's not a great quarterback class, but it's not a bad quarterback class.
Yeah.
I'm looking at least 5 of those guys are going to go. At least 5 to 8 of those guys are going to go in the first 2.5 rounds.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Running backs, I see Kennedy Brooks from Oklahoma, Snoop Connor from Ole Miss, Jerrion Ely. He didn't really do a lot, but I guess to each their own. As far as good luck to you if you did. We got a running back from Florida. I don't even know if he's going to even get looked at, man, because the 2 quarterbacks were the 2 leading rushers for the team.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
I wonder if he should have hedged his bets and come back and played for a year under the new coach. Definitely. Here's a couple of names here that I think will be a big deal. Brian Robinson from Alabama, Isaiah Spiller from Texas A&M, Quay Walker from Michigan State. Those guys will definitely get a good look. In the wide receiver class, outside of Georgie Porgy Pudding and Pie, Mechie for sure, Jameson for sure. Those 2 just because they're Bama. Garrett Wilson from Ohio State. Garrett Wilson from Ohio State, because you can't play with CJ Stroud in the year he's had and not at least get looked at. Right. Mike Woods from Oklahoma might get a shake, but I don't know. Let's see what else.
Who was the guy from Baylor? Didn't somebody from Baylor actually break the record for the 40? Or am I mistaken? Or come close. I thought he broke it.
Correct. Yeah, that's supposed to start next week.
If I am not mistaken, you may be correct, sir. I don't have the stats for how everybody performed in the 40. I just have our guys pulled up. Oh, come on, stop messing with me. There we go. So those are your wide receivers. Tight ends. I didn't really see a lot out of the tight ends this year. There's a lot of Oklahoma players and Virginia Tech players here to declare for the draft. We'll see what happens with them. We got the old linemen. We got the defensive linemen.
Yeah, not a good job. But yeah, it was Baylor cornerback Kaylaon Barnes. He ran a 4.23.
Oh God, that's stupid.
Stupid.
He might not have even been a first-round draft prospect, but his stock definitely went up just because of that. Only name that I see that's really, really, really standing out to me in the defensive lineman list besides our guys is, of course, Aiden Hutchinson from Michigan. I know that he was kind of rendered ineffective in the national championship game, but I've seen the kid play and the kid can ball, so I think he'll have a more than average shot at getting picked up. I just don't know where. Right. That's the thing is me not knowing what all the teams in the league did last year and what their needs are, other than watching the Bengals play, and the Bengals need a whole offensive line. So we might, all of our Georgia players might wind up in Cincinnati.
They may.
Yeah, they may indeed. So I'm just looking here to see if any other names jump out at me. Defensive backs. Nothing jumps out at me there. Not that I wasn't watching other teams. It's just, let's see. Specialists. Dicker the kicker from Texas.
No. Go ahead.
Yeah, Cameron Dicker. They call him Dicker the kicker. He's with the Longhorns, and the kid's got a cannon for a leg.
Uh-huh.
I think he only missed like 2-3 field goals. Was it?
Wow. Huh.
And he can boot them too. So, yeah, that's pretty decent. And then the overall Big Ten came in second with 54, Pac-12 with 36, ACC with 36, the Big 12 had 35, ACC with 22, Mountain West with 14, the Independents with 7, Conference USA with 7, Sun Belt with 4, and the MAC with 4. And then there were 21 prospects from FCS and Division II. So we'll see. We'll see what we get out of that. We'll see what we wind up getting out of that.
Yeah,
all that
stuff to me, it's great that they do it so well, and I hope the best for them going on, but it breaks my heart we're losing 14. 14 players we're losing. I'm sure we have been reloading, so I'm sure somebody's going to step up. But
hey, well, I'm going to say the same thing. Same thing that the Georgia fans have been saying to Alabama fans since the national championship game. Next man up.
Next man up. Absolutely.
Like Operation Wolf back in the day. Reload.
Yep. Absolutely. Reload. I know they will. I mean, like I said.
Yeah. So before we go another further, we can't not talk about these two guys. Defensive tackle Devonta Wyatt, 6'3", 304, vertical jump of 29, broad jump of 9 feet 3 inches. So he can't jump very far, can't jump very high, but hell, he's 304 pounds. What you expect?
If you get that much weight off the ground, I'm impressed.
Yes, sir. But he was the fastest defensive tackle at the combine with a time of 4.77 in the 40-yard dash.
You must have them people running, man. I mean, I ain't never seen any defensive lineman and run that fast. I don't think in my lifetime. I mean, you usually don't hear that kind of fast times with defensive linemen, that kind of stuff.
Well, I do know this, Matt. When Matt Bowling came on campus, there was this big deal where the coaches? I think it was a combination. It was the coaches took on the members of the coaches took on the players in a 4x100. And the players snuck in Matt Bowling, and he completely smoked Kirby. It was hilarious. But I think they do go out there, and I think they go out there and run with the track team.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
I think they run with the track team. I mean, that's the only, and I don't know if it's true or not, but it makes a hell of a lot of sense when you look at how these guys are playing and how fast they are. I mean, your punter's running a 4.5.
Yeah, I mean that's sick.
And the punter don't even have to run.
Yeah, I mean, no explanation, but hey, whatever they're doing is working. I mean, they got them. Like I said, it helps for them not to be as winded too. So if they that fast and they don't have to be that winded, they can stay in there. That keeps the hands off the hips, I guess. All right, Fingers. I mean, like,
yeah,
they do the, they do the.
I mean, well then too, they also practice the hurry up offense. I mean, it's obvious from watching the defense, they practice a lot against the hurry up setup.
Yeah,
because those are some big boys, and one thing we know is if you get a dude that's big and you run him, he will tire out.
Oh, sure.
But I mean, that's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. But he wasn't the star of the combine. The star of the combine, 6'6", 341 pounds. I got everybody calling him Big Baby. I started that on this show.
I know you started that, yeah. You started.
Big Baby Davis. Vertical jump of 32. That is good God.
That's actually good.
He can get almost 3 feet off the ground. Good Lord. Then his broad jump was 10 feet 3 inches. That boy got some powerful legs. He got ham hock. He got tree trunks.
Yep.
10 feet 3 inches, number one at his position. He ran a 4.78 40-yard dash, the fastest ever for a player over 310 pounds, and came in second only to his teammate. That is absolutely stupid. I mean, dude, the news feed blew up. Twitter blew up. My Facebook blew up. People were texting me going, "Oh my God, did you see your guy? Did you see your guy?" Like, yeah, I saw him. That's fast. So he's also projected to be a pretty high draft pick. I think he's only second behind Nakobe. They're projecting him to go to the Steelers with their first pick. So we shall
that's probably
see.
good. That's probably good because, I mean, I'm sure you saw the article by that ex NFL scouting guy out of New York, the Jets. Said he wasn't buying hype. So basically just wrote an article trashing, like, potential this, potential that. And it's like, potential is the death, you know. It's just reading it made me just clench my teeth. So this guy's just not happy. He's not happy with himself.
No, not at all.
Well, you don't have to like, you know, coddle him. I mean, it's facts. It's all written down on paper. All his stats are there. You know what I mean? You don't have to blow any smoke.
Yeah, that's not potential. We see what the boy can do. If he breaks through your line of scrimmage, as a defensive player, he's going to catch your running back. If your running back hadn't gotten a full head of steam, he's going to catch him. If your quarterback's not looking, if your quarterback's not looking, he's going to get got. And then God help you if you see the jumbo package of him and Devontae coming out to the offensive line. Somebody's getting ready to look. It's real simple. Wherever they line up, that's where the ball is coming. Good luck stopping them. You got almost 900 pounds of man on that one side. You gonna stop 900 pounds by yourself?
Get him off. Get him off. Get him off.
Oh my God, my leg, my leg.
But I was just saying, it's like not very often you get a guy like this that is the total package. Like, he is athletic and he's a good dude. Like, he's a great guy. He's very, you know, he's a beast on the football field, and I guess you want to call it teddy bear on the, you know, outside of the football field. Don't hear any bad things about him. He's he's proud. He's actually humble. You know, all that kind of stuff on the field. He gets on the field, he's a beast, and he showed you at the combine. Like, his 40, all his stat times are insane for a guy of his stature. It's just crazy.
Absolutely, and
that just proves the work he put in. I mean, you know that it just proves the work that he put in to get there.
Yeah, I mean, I hadn't
heard a negative thing about him at all, except for this guy.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't fall to Zion, what I call Zion Williamsonitis.
Yeah,
and just blow up and get big and out of shape for no reason.
Yeah,
I think wherever he goes, he's definitely. Wherever he goes, he's going to wind up making an immediate impact in the league, I think.
Absolutely. I think so.
Yeah. So, having said that, we have come to the final segment of our show, where we like to call the 2-minute warning. This is a part where we just kind of ruminate in, and this is brought to you by Envision Social Media. They will help you empower, create, and sustain your social media platforms. This is the total social media solution if you're looking to get somebody to help you to build and monetize and grow your followers, your social media presence, whatever it is that you're trying to do. Make sure you go and holler at them today at envisionsocialmedia.com. Thank you for being a sponsor of This Week in SEC Football. So I'm going to let you close it out today. I'm going to go first. I just want to as I said earlier, I had an opportunity to go see my parents. Enjoyed it. Loved being able to see my parents. Hadn't seen my mom and dad in a couple of years, and then I had the added bonus of having a couple of aunts and an uncle there. And we just sat around and laughed like we used to. It was like being almost like the only thing was missing was a couple of the other uncles and my grandmother, you know, but my grandmother's no longer with us, and the other couple of uncles have passed on. There's still one more living, but they were halfway across the other side of the country. But that, you know, it was just great to see them. So if you're fortunate enough to have your parents with you and you got a good relationship with them, just let them know you love them, because, you know, you never can tell. Something as simple, a simple twist of fate, a simple action could turn into something that could take them away from you or have them in a position where they're not able to express how they feel to you. So let them know while you have them that you love them. because they're only here for a season, and when they're gone, they're gone. And just learn to appreciate your family. Try and appreciate your kids too. Like I said, took my daughter with me. We had a great time in the car, up and down the road, just joking, laughing. There wasn't no fussing. There wasn't no arguing. We were just trading off, listening to each other's playlists. And she's like, Dad, you have an awful lot of Tech Nine in your phone. I was like, yeah, you got an awful lot of K-pop in your phone. And we just started listening to each other's music and having a good time. And, of course, we ate quite a bit. So so that's all I got. Just, while you got them, love on them. And that's all I got. I'm going to hand it off to you and let you.
Yeah, I mean, bro, that kind of was where I was going to go, but I can definitely I can add to that from my personal perspective. Yeah, and I mentioned this earlier in the show, but I am fortunate to still have my parents with me, even though they do live in Georgia, and they are able, retired now and able to drive. They do make that 11-hour drive up here, and I do jokingly say they come to see my grandbaby. They come see me too, and I'm thankful for that, and would I like to go down to Georgia to see them? Absolutely. But, for people that don't know, my son has a little bit, he has some health stuff going on. Not that it's just stuff that pops up. So he's got a little bit of a risk when it comes to traveling, but, and of course, due to the COVID and all the restrictions and everything, and him being, having to be cooped up in the house. But we're definitely planning on some vacations, just he and I, and another trip down to what I like to call God country. Anthony, you know what I'm saying? God country.
Sure.
Get him down to civilization, get him outside. He's been down there a couple of times, and he loves it because it's much more slower pace, and he can run, do whatever he wants to. He can't do that necessarily up here in Virginia. And I'm going to agree wholeheartedly, Anthony, that if you have family, or if you're fortunate enough to have family, be your father, mother, aunts, uncles, whoever you talk to, love, make sure you tell them that. I mean, because you may think they already know, but I mean, just make sure you tell them, instead of just making that assumption that they know you do. But just let them know, and and just basically just enjoy the time you have with them, because like you said, dude, I mean, tomorrow's not promised, and I've seen things happen, and just not to get a little too deep into it, but my father actually had a heart attack a couple years ago, 3 years ago, but they actually, and that was in Georgia, and I was here, so I couldn't do anything. I got a call from my mom, and she called me after he was stable. But then she told me the story about what happened. So she told me at the time when it was going on, I'd have lost my mind. But she made sure everything was cool. But unfortunately, God had another plan for him to stay with us a little longer. So he's here. So, I mean, I'm going to make the most time with, the people that are here. So, yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Anthony. Just make sure people know how you feel about them, and enjoy the time with them when you got it.
Yeah, well said, brother. Well said. Well said. That's not, that goes for your spouses as well, or significant other, if you have one. I know
a lot of friends, you've got good friends, man.
Yeah,
make sure. You know what I'm saying?
And I know we say that a lot, but things being what they are all over the world right now, not just specifically in that one region where the news is focused on right now, but things being what they are all over the world. You never know. It's just gotten to a point where you could talk to a friend on the phone on Monday morning and they be gone by Monday night. So just give them that love while you got them, because one day, they're gonna get that tap on the shoulder, and it's gonna be time for them to go, and it's gonna suck. It's gonna suck, but there's not a whole lot that we can really do about that.
Well, it'll put a lot of stop to it. I wish I'd have said this. I wish I said that. I wish they really knew how I feel. Just do it now. I mean, don't wait. Do it now. You don't have to do it. Do it later. But every now and then do that. That way you won't have to have that kind of feeling that I wish I'd have said this. I wish I said that.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that is a good place for us to shut it down. We appreciate those of you that tuned in. We appreciate those of you that are watching the replay. So even if you're watching the replay, go ahead and hit the like, hit the subscribe, drop us a comment in the comments. And most of all, if you really like what you see and you want to share this with somebody, please feel free, because we like having eyes on, we enjoy doing this, but it's nice to have other people to check it out as well. So
absolutely.
We will be back. We should be back next week with another episode. We'll try and, there's, you know what? This has been the most active offseason in SEC football that I can ever remember. There's been something every single week.
And we had this conversation last episode, and we were like, we were going to be looking for things to do, and then you had that 3-ring circus with the coaches and everything, and now, it's very active, like you said.
Yeah. So, but we'll be back next week. Until then, you guys enjoy yourselves. You have a great weekend. I have been Mr. Fingaz from Zagnif Central. That guy right there, that is the man with the plan, the brother from another, the
Absolutely.
ace of base in your face, in the place, the sexy mother Hubbard, Collin P. I keep adding on to it, bro. After a while, your intro is going to take up half the end of the show.
I'll just be surprised if you can remember it all.
Hey, I'd be trying, man. I'm going to have to start writing it down after a while. I'm going to have a teleprompter over here like we're on the news. But we appreciate you. We appreciate you all rocking with us, and we are going to get out of here. We will see you next time. We are OUWT. Out.
Yo, dog.
Be good. We'll see you.
Your Bama does what Bama do.
That's it. We're clear.